Welcome, clarinet players. This video is for first-year clarinet players. You guys are in beginning band. Today, we're going to do our video lesson in place of a live music lesson with me. We're going to start off by reviewing our first 3 notes and doing some echoing exercises. Then, we'll play through some of our circled songs from our lesson book. And then we'll take a look at some new songs in our lesson book as we move forward with half notes. Let's take a look at some of the songs or some of the notes that we've been learning. One of the first notes we learned was our note E. Every time you see a music note on the bottom line of the staff, you need to press these fingers down to play E. This fingering chart matches the top hand home keys and our bottom hand home keys. If a dot is filled in, that means we need to press that finger down. So to play E, we need to press our first finger in our left hand up on top and our thumb in our left hand around the back of the instrument. Let's try and make an E sound together. I have got my 3 home keys in the top, my 3 home keys in the bottom. Just a quick review. My home keys on top are that first hole right below this metal teardrop piece. Then I cover my second hole with my second finger, and the third hole is almost hidden. It doesn't have a metal ring around it. On the back, I cover that back hole with my thumb. That's the thumb hole. Double check that your left hand is on top. If you're watching me on this video, we might be mirrored, so your hand would look like this, whereas I need to put my left hand on top. Your right hand plays the bottom 3 home keys. There are 3 holes at the bottom where you press your first finger, second finger, and third finger. And there's even a handy thumb rest on the back. In order to play our E music note, we don't press any fingers except our first finger and our thumb. The E note should sound like this. Go ahead and try playing an E note with me. Nice job. Let's do some echoes. I will go first, and then you can go second. My turn first. Your turn. Nice job. Let's do another. Your turn. Excellent. Try and do each of these echoes in one breath. Let's do another one on E. Your turn. Excellent job. Remember, when we play the clarinet, we take what's called a balloon breath. You take your lungs, and you breathe in and fill them as big as they can go, and then you push all that air straight through the clarinet. Remember, don't puff out your cheeks when you play, or else you're going to lose air inside your cheeks. When we play our clarinet, we roll the reed over our bottom lip, over our bottom teeth, and we bite down on top. The next note we learned was the note D. Every time you see a music note hanging below the bottom line of the staff, that note is D. In order to play D, we need to press our top 2 finger keys in our left hand and our thumb key around the back. Let's go ahead and play our note D. Go ahead and make your note sound just like mine. Let's do some echoes. Try and do each echo in just one big breath. My turn first. Your turn. Excellent. My turn. Your turn. Nice job. My turn. Your turn. Excellent work. Let's look at our last note, C. In order to play our note C, we need to press all 3 fingers in our left hand on top of our instrument. We also need to press the thumb key along the back. Every time you see a music note on its own independent line below the staff, that note is C. Let's go ahead and finger C on our instruments and try playing along. Our C note should sound like this. Try making your C note the same as mine. Let's do some echoes. My turn first. Your turn. Nice job. My turn. Your turn. Excellent. My turn. Your turn. Great work. Let's go ahead and open up to page 6. We're going to start with song number 6. All right, you guys, I've just put page 6, song 6 on the screen. This is a copy from one of my old lesson books. Song number 6 starts on the note C. We have a whole note here, which means we have to hold the note C for 4 beats. Then we see this hanging box hanging from this line. That's called a whole rest, which is also worth 4 beats. So we need to wait 4 beats, or 4 clicks of the metronome, or 4 taps of our foot. Then we see the note D, and we wait 4 beats. Then we see the note E, and we wait 4 beats. Then the note D, 4 beats, and then the note C again. A good strategy is while you're tapping your foot to count these 4 beats, get your fingers ready to play the next note. I'm going to start up my metronome, and let's try playing song number 6 together. 3-note combo. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd you do? If you need to, pause this video and play that song a little bit slower to catch up with each note. Let's look at song number 7. Let's review the notes of song 7. Song 7 starts on E this time. Then we see a hanging box, so we rest for 4 beats. Then we move to the note D and rest for 4 beats. Then C, rest for 4 beats. Then D, rest for 4 beats. And then finally E. Let's go ahead and play song number 7, Third Time's the Charm, starting on E. 1, 2, ready, go. That time, I didn't count those rests out loud. You may need to rewind the video a little bit and play that again if you had a hard time counting just 4 beats on each rest. For song number 8, you'll notice that every note is played twice. We've got our D note and then another D note. Then we have E and another E note. Then back to D and another, then C and another. The fun part about this song is that the first note of every group is a solo note. That means just one person plays at a time. The second note is the band note. That means the rest of the group plays. I'm going to start off as our solo for today. That means I will play the solo note all by myself. Then you play the band note. Then I play the solo. Then you play the band. I play the solo. You play the band. I play the solo. You play the band. So I'm going to erase that little bit that I just did there, and I'm going to circle each of your notes. All right, here's your notes in red. I'm going to play the first note, then you play the band note. I play the solo, you play the band note. Then I play the solo, you play the band note. Then I play the solo, and you play the band note. This time, I'm not going to click with our metronome. I'm just going to tap my foot while I play, which is a good practice for all clarinet players. Here we go with song number 8. Match the pitch, starting on D, and I will go first with the solo note. Your turn. My turn. Your turn on E. My turn on D. Your turn on D. My turn on C. Your turn on C. Nice job. In our music lessons, we will begin rotating who plays the solo note while the rest of the group will play the band note. Let's move down to song number 9. In song number 9, A Breath of Fresh Air, you'll notice that there's this little marking above our staff in between every note. Every time you see that marking, that means you take a breath. So you hold this whole note out for 4 whole beats, and then you take a breath. Then you hold this whole note out for 4 beats and take a breath, so on and so forth. This song is asking us to take a breath in between every single note. Let's look at our first note, E, E, then D, then D, then C, then C. Let's try playing this one together. I'm going to click along with the metronome. A good strategy when you're taking a breath is to keep your instrument close to your mouth. That way, you'll be ready to play the next note, because these notes will go by really fast because we don't have that whole rest in between. That whole rest gave us a nice long time to take our breath. This time, we've got to take a faster, full balloon breath. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, ready, go. Woo! That song went by fast. Let's go ahead and try that again. Remember, we're going to start learning to switch from note to note without having to look down at your fingers. Try just moving from note to note by feel, without having to pull the clarinet away from your face to look down to switch your fingers. That will help you play each of these notes with just one breath, move your fingers, and play. Take a breath, move your fingers, and play. That's what we want to get towards as we move forward with these songs. Here's number 9, A Breath of Fresh Air. 1, 2, ready, go. Was it a little bit easier that time, keeping your instrument in ready position? Go ahead and try songs 10 and songs 11, doing that same practice technique. Play the note, take a quick breath, and move your fingers while keeping your instrument up to your face in playing position. We're not going to play through 10 and 11 today during this video lesson. I'll let you pause the video and play through those on your own. Let's move on to page 7. Page 7 introduces a new note called a half note. You might remember from music class that a half note only has 2 beats. This is where we're going to need to count up in our brains as we play. Let's look at song number 12. Song 12 has 3 half notes in a row. 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. We need to hold each of these notes for 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Because our time signature says 4, 4, we count every measure as having 4 beats. 2 beats for our first half note, 2 beats for our second half note. You'll notice that we have another one of our box rests. This rest, believe it or not, is different than our whole rest. Our whole rest was connected to the top of the line, and it hung from the top of the line like I just drew. The half rest sits on the line, almost like a top hat. If I draw a top hat, let me try that again. If I draw a top hat, my top hat looks like this. That's how you can remember a half rest. Think hat, half. Every time you see this half rest or the hat, think that rest is 2 beats. Every time the square or the box is hanging, that's your whole rest, worth 4. Hat, half. This is what song number 12 is going to sound like. I start on C and I play 3 C notes in a row. Then I move to D and play 3 D notes in a row. Then I move to E and play 3 E notes in a row, and then I jump back down to C. I'm going to play this song by myself. Then you can play it along with me. Here's what number 12 sounds like. 1, 2, my turn. rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. And that's it. Don't forget to move your fingers during the rest and take a breath. Let's try song number 12 together. 1, 2, ready, go. Breathe, move your fingers. Breathe and move your fingers. Breathe and move your fingers. That's okay if this song was a little bit fast for you today. This is the first time we're playing our half notes and our half rests. Go ahead and pull out your pencil. We're going to circle some songs to practice this week. Go ahead and circle song number 12 half the time. Circle number 13, mix it up. Number 14, duet. And number 15, name the notes. You can go ahead and use your pencil to write in the note names for number 15. Remember, those are whole notes, each one worth 4 beats. Whenever you need to take a breath, we breathe either on the rest or when you see a breath mark. Try to play all of those notes in one breath, then you take a breath. Then you play all the next group of notes and take a breath, and then play all the next group of notes before taking another breath. The same thing applies down here for name the notes. I only see a breath mark after 2 whole notes. That means I need to play both of these notes in one big breath. Then I take a breath and play both of these notes in one breath. Take a breath and play both of these notes. This will be important for practicing as we get into longer and more complex songs. If that's a little tricky for you right now, that's okay. We're going to make sure that these songs stay fun, even if they're a little bit of a challenge. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed your video lesson. I look forward to seeing you through our Zoom meeting live at our next music lesson. Have a great week.